Welcome, race fans, back to week 2 of the GreaseCar TK Racing Diecast Late Model Tour. I'm joined here, as always, with my co-commentator, Logan Joyner. Logan, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Nathan. I'm ready to watch some racing action here, home of the Snowball Derby. Hopefully to see some carnage like we saw last week.
Yeah, what a wild week we had last week. Lots of wrecks, not too much time under green flag conditions, but man, we saw quite the chaos there on the last lap with Philip York trying to steal the win away from Drew Wooten, fully sent it into the wall, so quite the dedication there on that. But as we kind of move on here, let's go into some track facts here. You brought up the Snowball Derby stuff, but let's talk about USA International. Or not
well,
US.
This is Five Flags.
It's five flags. Unfortunate. Let's well, here you go.
All right, we're gonna have to fire our producer here.
There we go.
All right, this track was opened in May of 31st, 1953. Home of the Snowball Derby. Like we said, the first one was held in 1968. It's a half-mile oval. We got 15-degree bankings in the corners, 9 degrees down the straightaways. The width, there's no width here. That's exactly what it says, so that's what we're going with. Corners are about 55 feet wide, and the straightaways are about 48 feet wide. So plenty of room for some racing action tonight. All the drivers sitting in the drivers' meeting right now, getting ready to roll off and do some qualifying here.
And as we take a look at the race analysis here, so we do have 100 laps for the CBM 100. It's Corey Bodie Motorsports 100. 100 laps here at Five Flags. The pit lane speed is 35. Everybody should be good on fuel, so shouldn't need to top off on any pit stops. I know, if you follow any sort of other racing on iRacing, you'll notice that these late models really don't like to be worked on too much in the pits, just because it takes so much longer than probably what you're used to seeing with NASCAR or some road racing. So good thing is they're good on fuel. We could see some of the tire strategy come into play, maybe 2 tires. I don't know if people take all 4, but we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. And in terms of the track record, 16.12 seconds set by Ty Majeski in 2015. So as we move on here, let's take a look at our current standings after race 1. Logan, why don't you kick us off with the top 5?
Drew Wooten sitting in first with his win from last week with 45 points. Eli Lewis in second is back 10, as well as Nicholas Priest is in third. He's also minus 10, as well as Dennis Wilder Jr. is also minus 10 in fourth. Thomas Moll Jr. minus 12. So real tight right now. Here, the top 6 or top 10. I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. As you notice that a lot of these guys, second through fourth, tied in points. Really, it all comes from the heat stuff. That's all. That's all the points that they're gathering during the heat races, and the points they pick up in the feature race as well. So that's kind of how we're seeing the ties. But as we move through, Travis Ellington in 6th, Zach Smith in 7th, our past season champ Nick Owen in 8th. Avery Schwalm in 9th, and R. Mason Dunn in 10th. And as we take a look here further back, 11th through 20th, I'll just rattle them off real quick. Braden Campbell, Blaine Harrison, Davis Warren, Braden Goddard, Philip York, Chris Blackstock, Austin Walters, Charlie Brown, Casey Quigley, and Joshua Cleveland to round out our top 20 here. So it looks like should be starting. We're not in qualifying as of yet, these drivers, but this is GreaseCar on Grease Vision, presented by TK Racing Diecast here at Five Flags. So we do a quick look ahead here while these guys are finishing up practice. We look ahead to the schedule. I know we talked about this some last week, Logan, but any races you see coming up that you're really interested in here?
Yeah, definitely a few. I'm really looking forward to Nashville Fairgrounds, Southern National. That's where Denny Hamlin cut his teeth. I know a lot of people don't really care for Denny Hamlin, but what a great racetrack. High bankings. We've got Bristol up there. I think that's going to be an insane race. I'm pretty interested to see New Hampshire as well. That's a big track for these cars, but a lot of off-throttle time, so I'm really interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, one I'm interested in, just because it's close by, is Hickory there, April 3rd with the Panther Mid-Packers 138. I think that should be an interesting race, kind of similar to a track like this. Not a lot of room, a lot of pretty much constant turning and everything. So excited for that one, as well as just the chaos of Bristol. That's that's always fun. So if we can, let's see if we can hop on board with some of these guys that are coming out of the pits. So if we take a look here at Davis Warren, he's looking to set down a qualifying lap here as we can bring up the ticker. These guys do get 3 laps to set their best time. Logan, you might have to help me out with the times, as I don't really see what I'm
Travis Ellington right now the only time posted with a 16.789. Trevor Bowen topping off the charts with a 16.521. This track is mostly going to be prominently the bottom for most of the race, and it's going to be a lot of right front and right rear tire wear. You're going to have to preserve that thing, especially if there's no yellow. That's going to. Oh, we got a car around, a couple cars around.
I think they were just
stopping on the track, maybe.
Yeah, I think they were just stopping after setting on their lap. Blaine Harrison with a pretty fast lap.
The 21 of Dylan Gooden definitely did spin out his qualifying run, showing here on my screen. Right now we got Trevor Bowen on the pole position with a 16.521. Just 1/1000th of a second over second place with Eric Purcell in the 88 car.
Unreal. Yeah, that's what we love to see in qualifying, because that just every time you see qualifying that close, you're gonna have a good race on your hands. As we see Purcell try to improve here. I believe that was his out lap there, so not sure.
Yeah, I think the second or third lap is probably going to be faster when you get those tires a little bit more warm, get a little bit more grip in that thing, get the tire pressures up. You see him sliding a little bit there coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, it doesn't
Eric
look like
Purcell to the leader.
Oh, he does improve. I was just about to say it doesn't quite look like he improves, but he gets out to a little lead over Trevor Bowen. What's the gap there? It looks like
16.506, a couple of hundredths of a second there.
Wow.
But only 2/1000ths of a second between second and third between Trevor Bowen and Blaine Harrison. Real close, and another 5/1000ths back to fourth and Nicholas Priest. Very, very tight qualifying times here. It just shows the talent of this field. Really looking forward to getting this thing underway tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. So 3 laps have gone, gone for some of these drivers already. We're still waiting on a few more to qualify. They do have, I believe, about 2 minutes remaining, as we see Dylan Gooden in his qualifying efforts, currently P12. Looks like Nick Gowen is not on track anymore. Trevor Bowen coming out? Nope.
Trevor Bowen did second. He already qualified.
Okay, his name was still lighting up. He might still be sitting on the track. Zach Smith gonna look to put down a better lap. He's currently P16. So he comes out of 4. Can he improve here?
And again, we only have about 5 cars that have not qualified, and we got about a minute and a half left in qualifying here, so we're seeing if they're maybe waiting, hoping that cloud pops in front of the sun and cool off that track a little bit. You see the 116 having a little trouble coming off 4 there, pushing her to the edge.
Does improve a little bit.
We do have a new pole sitter, Dennis Wilder Jr. with a 16.498. That's the first. Now Drew
scratch
Wooten.
that. Wooten.
Drew Wooten with a 4.20. Maybe they did have the right idea by waiting.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe just waiting for those track conditions to change, weather, wind. I don't know, something to go a little different for him. As Drew and Dennis, putting up really good laps, pretty much back to back here. So I do believe there's 3 more that are waiting to qualify. Don't know if they're gonna have enough time to get the full qualifying session, as there is only 30 seconds left in the qualifying session. So they might just be accepting that they're starting from the rear in these heat races that are coming up.
Yeah, I'm super excited for these kicking the tire heat races. I think these are going to be good. I'm not sure if we just have 1 or 2 tonight, but either way, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see how iRacing kind of breaks it up, and if we, end up having a LCQ, which would be our Panzer Performance LCQ. We'll see if that's needed, but if not, we will definitely be sure to shout him out again.
So we are going to have 2 heats. We are going to have 2 heats, which is awesome. I think this is our first time in GreaseCar history that we've had 2 heat races. So this is going to be interesting here.
Absolutely.
A little reminder that the first heat will all line up on the inside road during the feature. So if you finish second in the first heat, you will start third in the feature. That's just a little background on heat racing. If you don't know how that goes, if you're in the second heat and you finish third, you're going to line up 6th in the feature. Or if you finish first in the second heat, it will start on the outside pole in second.
That is correct. Trying to get our qualifying information up here, but it is deciding to struggle right now. Give me 1 second. Let's see if we can.
I don't have a second. I'm gonna need it now.
Seems our monitoring stuff is not cooperating with what we would like here. So we have our soundboard is working. Don't worry about that. We'll keep you entertained in the meantime.
See, we got a few people watching
All right,
tonight. Go ahead and put who you want to win in the chat. Who you think's gonna win.
Yeah,
Let us know you're there. Tell us your name, where you're from, all that good stuff. And be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be here every Wednesday for the TK Late Models GreaseCar Tour.
I like it.
TK Racing Diecast Late Model GreaseCar Grease Tour. Something like that.
Throw it all together. It's close enough. So take a look here at our qualifying results. So Drew Wooten going to take his 2nd Castle QuickTime Award of the season, and back-to-back for him. We'll just read through the top 10 here. It's Drew Wooten in 1st, Dennis Wilder Jr. in 2nd, Eric Purcell 3rd, Trevor Bowen in 4th, Blaine Harrison in 5th. Logan, take it away.
Yeah, as we got Nicholas Priest in 6th, Eli Lewis in 7th, Davis Warren 8th, Nicholas Goen in 9th, our past season champion Tristan Stevenson in 10th. And I think we're about to get this heat race underway. I'm not sure how it broke this up here. As it's showing Nick Goen as our pole sitter in the heat race, although he qualified about 8th, so I'm not sure how it's all set up here, but that's interesting.
Yeah, really weird here how they're splitting up the heats, but I guess we'll just have to let iRacing do its thing.
Yeah, because our pole sitter, Drew Wooten, he's starting 3rd in this heat. I'm not real sure what's going on here.
I believe that there might be something to do with inversion for the heat races based on qualifying. I think that's got something to do with it.
Okay, well that's even better for us. It's going to make this thing more interesting.
Absolutely. As we sit here keyed in on our past season champ Nick Goen, ready to take the green here in heat number 1. And here we go.
Kicking the tires, heat's underway.
Absolutely. As we bring up the graphic here for the heat races, Nick Goen it really didn't get the best jump. Eli Lewis out in front early, and man, he really just jumped him there on the start.
Yeah, he did. I'm not sure if the admins are going to be too happy with that. I couldn't tell if it was a clean restart or not. I'm sure it was. They'd have probably already said something to him, but he's walking away from the field right now. Nicholas Goen still fighting for that 2nd position with the 88 of Eric Purcell on the outside of him. And I know that 88 car, he will race you hard. I have raced against him before. He will race hard, as well as Nick Goen, so I'm excited to see this little battle go on right here.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Nick or Eric, don't look now, but Drew is right on your tail. And we saw him drive through the field last week. I mean, he drove through a field of 28 last week. What's to say he can't drive through 4 cars? As we see Nick Goen get a little loose on entry. That's going to open the door for Drew Wooten into 3rd. Nick's got to be careful he doesn't hold himself on the outside, as he is able to get down back to the bottom. Car get loose just behind him.
He tags the wall just slightly.
That's going to be 51 there. Garrett Thompson, as he's getting loose, just can't quite hold on to it.
Saves it. He saves it.
What a good save there. I think his tires just kind of getting a little too hot there. Just constantly sliding it out of the corner, but he does save it, keeps us under green with 3 to go here for Eli Lewis. We saw Eli fought really hard last week. Ended up with a pretty decent result, I believe. So, just continuing where he left off here, way out in front of the field.
Man, I'm telling you, if you don't think these drivers are driving hard, I'm watching the blimp cam right now, and all these cars from mid-corner to the end of the corner are all sideways coming off the corner, and it's awesome to see. These drivers are fighting for everything they have to get that first spot in the heat race so they can start on the pole position. To see Lewis out in front, putting on a clinic in the heat race. He's going to come off a turn 4 and take the checkered flag for the kick in the tires. First heat. We're going to go on to the second one.
Yeah, looks like finishing order here is Lewis taking the win, Purcell in second, Drew Wooten in third, Nick Gowen, kind of the big loser of this race, in P4. Fifth is going to be Braden Campbell, sixth Avery Schwalm, seventh Garrett Thompson. I believe the others didn't start the heat, so they will remain in their current spot as they didn't put down any laps here. But as we take a look while these guys grid up for heat number 2, can pull up the grid here, and we got league owner in this one, baby. We got Tristan Stevenson on the pole here, Davis Warren in second, Nicholas Priest in third, Trevor Bowen in fourth, Dennis Wilder in fifth.
So something I am seeing right now, sorry to cut you off on that, we're having 10 cars from each heat race advance, but we have 21 cars. The last Constellation race would have 1 car go to the feature, so there will not be an LCQ tonight. That 21st car will just advance to the feature.
Good to know, good to know. So all the teams are happy tonight. Their cars are heading to the feature here at Five Flags, so no one going home early. Hopefully, like we've seen in other races in the past. So it's good for these drivers, get some more experience. It's even more of a thing that I've said before. In these heat races, gives you more of an idea just to absolutely send it, right? Because I mean, what do you have to lose at this point? Now that you know everyone's making it to the feature, might as well get all you can.
Absolutely, send it to the front if you can. The only problem is, if you wreck somebody, you might meet them later on in that feature, so you got to be careful of what you do. But that pace car is not going to take a hard left yet. We're going to go around one more time as we have Tristan Stevenson going to be leading us to the green flag with league owner Mr. Davis Warren in the 70 late model on the outside. And I am listening to the driver chat tonight, so if we have any beef, I'm definitely going to have to bring it up in the broadcast.
You have to share it with the audience here, because they can't hear that, and sometimes there's just things that don't need to be said on the broadcast. But you can be our liaison between the driver chat and then our PG rated audience here. As you see the pace car turn off, and we are green here in heat number 2.
Davis Warren not getting such a good jump, but the 10 car of Nicholas Priest getting a pretty good jump on the inside as he fogged the leader off of turn 2. Clears Davis Warren. He's going to try to make a run at that 66 right here. He's all over the back bumper coming off of turn 4. 66 comes off low. Dives down into turn 1, gets up under him. Not sure if he can do it.
Oh, he's there. Side by side into 3. Nicholas Priest looking to take the lead. Little contact, but he is going to come back as the leader across the line. Dennis Wilder Jr. going to take advantage of that bump from Priest, as he's also going to move up his position up by 1 over Tristan Stevenson. Now Davis Warren's turn to try to leave Tristan out to dry here on the outside, as it doesn't quite look like Tristan's able to clear Davis, which gives Davis one more chance here to put his nose in there and going into the corner. But I think Tristan's starting to kind of figure out how to carry a little bit more speed around the outside and hold his position as he slots back into P3.
Yeah, there's one thing about this track in the late model stocks is you have to drive this car hard. But the hardest part about that is trying to save tires. Now in this heat race, it's all or nothing. You drive that car just as hard as you can drive it because you're going to get a new set of tires before the feature starts. So send it as hard as you can. But in the feature, it's going to be just a little bit different than this. You're going to see a little bit different type of racing. You're going to see cars saving, some guys pushing too soon. I'm really interested to see how the strategy is going to play out. Not many, or actually no yellow flags so far. A little bit different from last week. We saw some mayhem in the heat race.
Yeah, definitely. It's been green the whole time so far. You know, which has been good to cover here. A lot of good clean racing. You know, a little bit of bumping, but hey, Rubbin's racing. So, yeah, so looking in the chat, seeing our Heat 1 winner talking about the, it kind of looked like he jumped the restart a little bit, but you know, it was letting us know that there was no jumped restart as the green flag was already out. So, he did get a good reaction time there. So. Interesting to note there as that was a quick one. Wow, wasn't even ready for that. As we look at the results here, if it'll work again.
Yeah, we got a little carried away talking there.
I know, we got a little carried away, and next thing we know, the heat race is over. As they're already gridding up here, would be for the feature, correct?
Yes, sir. No LCQ tonight.
So, no LCQ tonight. Trying to get a better understanding of why we're not able to see some of... Oh, here we go. So, we've got from our Heat 2 results, Nicholas Priest is the winner. Dennis Wilder Jr. going to come home in second. Tristan Stevenson dropped back from pole position to third. Davis Warren in fourth. Josh Cole in fifth.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and pull up our grid count here. As it looks like we're going to have Eli Lewis starting in the pole position. Nicholas Priest starting in second. Eric Purcell, like I said, he's going to be fast. Tends to burn up his stuff every now and then, but he is a smart driver, so I do think he will proceed to run up front all night. Dennis Wilder Jr. starting out in fourth, and Drew Wooten starting in fifth, our last week's winner. Nathan, go ahead.
Yeah, and in sixth, Tristan Stevenson. Seventh, last year's champion Nick Gowen. Eighth, league owner Davis Warren. Ninth, Braden Campbell. 10th, Josh Cole. And as we kind of look through the rest of the field here, I believe we have a total of 21 drivers. That perfectly fits on that second screen.
All right.
Through them real quick.
Well, Nathan, who do you have tonight before we go green here?
Yeah, it's, man, that's a tough choice. I mean, I've seen Eli be strong, you know, last week and, you know, so far this week. I feel like this guy's learned a lot. But in saying all that, so I can catch him right before we go green, I'm gonna take Purcell. As we do
all
go
right,
green.
I think I'm gonna take our last week's winner, Drew Wooten. I think the number 2 car is gonna get it done tonight. You see him go off into turn 1. See, a little bit more conservative than they were in the heat race. It's not so side by side up here in the front.
Yeah, not quite what we saw last week either, with big dive bombs into one.
We have a yellow out on the track.
There is a crash. Looks like Blaine Harrison, Nick Priest involved. So let's go back to see what's going on
7
there.
in the wall again. If you're wrecking under caution, we got to give you one of these.
Let's see, as it looks like who was first there? I think Blaine Harrison involved first. So if we take a look here, put it in slow-mo, looking here at the 7 of Blaine Harrison there on the bottom, and he's gonna wash up just a little bit in the middle of the corner. Oh no, never mind. He gets. Oh my.
Oh wow. Oh
that's
wow.
Not ideal.
Yeah, that's.
Let's see that one more time.
That's one of those things where you hate to see it. You know what I'm saying?
You hate to see. I mean, that's what I was thinking. I mean, you just see the 9 car. Tagged against that wall.
51.
Yeah.
I think there was a little net code between the 51 turning the car to the inside wall, and that's just iRacing doing its thing. And then 9 gets a little bit more action. It goes in. I not sure. I do like the 9 car. It has this American Pride on the roof there. I do like that. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a good little scheme he's got there. But yeah, wow, that was quite the ride for Blaine Harrison in the 7 up against the catch fence, probably waving to the fans as he's flying through the air, which, as we know, is never a good thing. But man, so we are lap 5. We didn't make it too far.
Yeah, these guys will level out here. We did have a little shift in the admin control, so we do have somebody looking over the race tonight, you know, calling out troubles. I think that was more of just like a racing / iRacing deal there. I don't think that was really on anybody. But we're about to get this Corey Bodie Motorsports.
I knew you'd screw it up once.
Underway here. Yeah, I figured I would too. Hey, and guess what? That probably won't be the last time, so start tallying it up.
All right, tallies are set at 1, but we do appreciate Corey Bodie Motorsports for sponsoring the race here at Five Flags for the CBM 100. Well, you know, we were just talking about how it wasn't going to be like last week, and I think as soon as those words left my mouth, I started seeing crashes pop up on the control panel over here. So, that's just iRacing timing, I guess, right there. I don't really know.
Yeah. Keep iRacing's name out your mouth, okay?
Pretty much. We got Joe Mon in the comments section. For those who don't know, that's my dad. Good, clean family fun. A-Cot, F&A, Cot, F&A. Oh.
You don't think Joe's hitting the keg right now, do you?
I don't know. We might have to ask him about that.
And we didn't get enough green flag laps, so we might be starting single file coming back here.
Looks like we
Eli
are.
Lewis going up to the high side, doing the old classic Saturday night racing style, keeping those cars from getting to the inside of him here.
We are green.
I'm sorry, to the outside of him. Messed that up.
Yeah, but man, Purcell gonna keep it right there on the inside, and man, that, like you said earlier, that's just the place to be with these cars. So you do have to drive it hard, but it's definitely the fastest way around. But Eli Lewis doing a really good job of really protecting that P1 spot as there's a little bit of contact.
Oh, a little contact. Like I said, Eric Purcell will race you hard. He will not wreck you, but he's going to rough you up a little bit. And I'm not sure why his numbers suddenly changed on the car, but he's got that Kyle Busch Motorsports number. Oh, a little bit of retaliation there from Eric. Said, hey, I didn't like that. I'm going to get back to the inside. Where did they touch? Coming on the back straightaway.
Eli Lewis, not a fan of what's going on, but he's going to settle into P2 and continue to try to work here on Eric Purcell, who did take the lead, and somehow his car changed numbers and paints and everything. Interesting to see there. But as we take another look here, just looks like Nick Gowen makes a move on Dylan Gooden, and league owner Davis Warren going to follow him around the outside, which just that's a little risky move there. See the 51 there in the wall ahead of him, but yeah, that's risky early on. But if I know anything about these two guys right here, man, it's like they're at Costco, man. They are just doing nothing but saving right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think the number 2 of Drew Wooten from our last week's winner, like I said before, he's very smart. He's a good racer, and I can guarantee you he's not pushing that car right now. And I want to go back to the leaders here. It looks
like Eli Lewis regained the lead.
Yeah, and here's the thing, though. Him and Eric are battling hard right now. They're racing hard. They're pushing their tires very, very hard. If this thing stays green the whole way, they're going to be sitting ducks at the end of this race.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Avery Schwalm, especially, you know, Avery Schwalm, Dennis Wilder, and Drew Wooten, those 3 guys have been really quick both weeks so far. And if I'm them and I'm watching Eli and Eric, and I'm just saying have at it, because not only are they losing time fighting with each other, but they're, like you said, they're just losing tire, putting more heat into them. And I mean, we do, like I mentioned in the pre-race, they do have that extra set of tires, but it's going to cost them a lot of track position if they do come in and take all 4. on if there's a midway yellow or something.
Right, and then there's also the fuel strategy that plays into it. Do you put fuel into it to change the setup of the car, or do you leave it out? Because you put 4 fresh tires on that thing and don't put any fuel in it, it changes the balance of the car tremendously from how you're used to. And if you haven't practiced it, it can be a wake-up call, especially on the first lap when the tires are getting warm. And it can you can have hell to catch because the car can spin out on you easily, or maybe even push way harder than you thought, and you might take out the guy that's on the outside of you. So it's definitely going to be interesting if a yellow comes out about midway and all these guys, take tires. I don't think after about, maybe 20 to 15 laps to go, it might not be worth it to take tires. I don't know. Some of these guys have smarter brains than me when it comes to racing, so we'll definitely have to see.
Yeah, it definitely is quite the call when it comes to those late race yellows and late race pit stops and the strategy involved with that. We do see Dylan Gooden here in P7, up 5 spots from the initial start, so pretty good day so far for him. Just solidified his position over that 51 of Garrett Thompson behind him. So far, kind of the guy that I'm kind of shocked we're seeing this far back, and maybe he's on the same kind of game plan as we know that Davis and Nick are on. As this 10 car, Nicholas Priest ran pretty strong in the
yellow
heat race.
Flag is out.
Yellow is out.
Oh, as we see the twisted T car back there tore up a little bit.
Oh no, let's go to a quick rec replay here. Let's see, I'm not seeing anybody that crashed out here. Anything you're seeing?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the twisted T car. I'm not sure. I can't remember which number that is.
Bear with us a little bit as we grab this.
He's got a tore up front nose, so I'm wondering if maybe I think maybe that was prior to the wreck.
Let's see.
Maybe
yeah, it looks like
that
was after. It looks like the rep may have been closer to the front. Just because I see the guys in the back that were checking up a little bit. But I'm not really seeing anybody damaged here. If we go back live here, as we kind of scroll through, I'm not really seeing anybody damaged.
Every now and then iRacing can throw free cautions if it finds a car off track, maybe going a little bit too slow. But I would like to point out that Eric Purcell has assumed the lead once again.
Yeah, and as we go back live, something to note here. A couple guys heading into the pits here. So Nick going into the pits. If we go on with him, looks like a clean car. So maybe a fuel stop, like you were talking about, how that changes the balance and the handling of the car. Maybe he said, "Hey, I'm already kind of back here. It's time for tires." So Nick going entering the pits. Dennis Wilder also getting a pit stop in there. Nicholas Priest. And I believe that is the only 3 takers there for pit lane this time.
Yeah, and if I know Nick, I just don't see him taking tires this early. Things can definitely happen. Not unless maybe he was in a slide in one of these wrecks and we just didn't see it, and maybe he flat spotted his tires or something to that effect. I just don't see him taking tires this early. I mean, maybe he did, but like I said, a yellow comes out with 50 to go, he's kind of a sitting duck if he's on 25 lap old tires and everybody else takes fresh tires. So I don't know, maybe he just came in for fuel, or who knows what he came in for.
Yeah, may have been some repairs or something from an earlier incident, just trying to make sure he's all good to go with no fuel, no tires, just a little bit of damage repair from his pit crew. As we see on the left side of Dennis Wilder's car, it's a little scraped up. Same can be said for a lot of drivers here tonight. So definitely a lot of bumping and banging here as we go back to our leaders here as the pace car lights are out as we head into turn 3 and 4. See what Eli Lewis can do here on this restart, but Eric Purcell going to have the flag in hand, and he's going to take off here as we go back green. And man, who else but Drew Wooten right there on his bumper.
Yeah.
Going into 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's my pick for tonight. I can't believe he's actually pushing this hard. Maybe he knows something I don't, but Drew Wooten challenging for the lead. And I can tell you right now, he's probably never raced Eric Purcell before. Not in this league, I know for at least, because Eric did not race last week. But
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, two really experienced racers here. Definitely spent a lot of time on the simulator, and you can tell it, right? I mean, they're quick. They're quick in qualifying, fast in the heats, and here they are up front, jostling for P1 here. As Drew's gonna take a look down to the inside into 3, and Eric's just kind of gonna let him have that spot. Not gonna block too hard or anything. They're gonna go side by side into 1. Drew looking for the lead to get that drive off. He's just going to be a nose ahead as they head into 3. Oh, and we do have a yellow
flag
out.
is back out.
It looks like Nick Gowen and Zach Smith involved. Let's get a replay of what happened there. Yeah, you just hate to see that for your a guy that came into pits, and he's just trying to make up some spots. Let's see what happens here. It looks like, oh man, Zach Smith just gonna kind of drive through him really into the corner, as doesn't really quite hit the apex. Yeah, just washes up there in the middle of the corner.
A little too heavy. Does Nick go and hit anything? He barely scrubs the wall. I think Nick will be fine.
Yeah,
he's probably not happy about that.
Yeah, same can be said for Zach Smith. I think the damage for both these cars is pretty minimal. I think Nick just tapped it enough to get an incident point. But, I mean, everything should be fine with the engine of the car and everything. As we see Dennis Wilder actually head back into the pits here. Not quite sure of what's going on. I don't know if he still had some repairs left that he just couldn't get fixed up last time, as we see Avery Schwalm in the pits as well. Zach Smith in the pits. So we see Schwalm and Wilder leaving the pits now. Zach Smith probably, a little bit of damage repair he hit the wall a little bit harder than Nick Gowen did. So probably just some repairs there. But, and at these short tracks, that's one thing about them, is not a lot of time to do any damage repairs. So, I mean, you might have 30 seconds, and that doesn't seem like a lot, to the viewers at home, but that's a long time to be sitting there when the cars are pacing at 45 miles an hour around this track. And it's really easy to go a lap down here, as we see Zach Smith leaving the pits, going to try to stay on the lead lap here. But one thing to note, Drew Wooten has made his way to the front.
Yeah, I think we should pull him up here in the booth. We're probably going to have about 1 to go here, but I'm going to go ahead and pull up Drew Wooten here to the booth. Drew Wooten, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Hey, man, how's the car feeling? You wearing those tires out? Or are you saving them pretty good?
Just riding, buddy.
I hear you. You were my pick tonight, so don't mess this up for me.
I hear you, brother.
Well, man, I ain't going to hold you too long. I know you got 1 to go here, so we'll get you back down to the Discord chat. But good luck out there.
Thank you, buddy.
As we see here, the pace lights are off as we hear from our leader and last week's winner, Drew Wooten. Feeling pretty good about the car. Doesn't seem too rattled or anything right now. Seems pretty calm in the cockpit.
Yeah, he's got ice in his veins. And as soon as we get this green flag rolling, I'd like to see who our Buffalo Service Transformer Hard Charger Award is. I might have set that backwards. Buffalo Transformer Services Hard Charger Award. That's
there
it.
There you go.
I mess up all these ad reads.
Oh my gosh. Sponsors, we don't claim him, but we do work for free. So, you get what you get. So, as we see Drew Wooten holding the lead over Eric Purcell here, and Eli Lewis in third. You did want to take a look at that hard charger. Our current hard charger here is actually going to be the 46 car, Charlie Brown, as he's looking to, make a move here on, I believe, that's going to be Chad McLeod, who's a newcomer to the series, in the Josh Berry 8 car there. Good looking scheme, as well as Charlie Brown's scheme as well. But Charlie Brown going to have himself in 10th. So he's moved up 10 spots since the beginning of this race. Probably profited off of some of the pit stops and wrecks that have happened along the way.
Definitely. So we see the battle starting to heat up a little bit for the lead. Eric Purcell trying to get on the back bumper of Drew Wooten, but I'm telling you right now, I think he's barking up the wrong tree, because I can tell you Drew Wooten is very, very smart with saving those tires. just from what I saw last week, he wasn't even in the picture until the end of the race, and then all of a sudden, here he comes, and he passed very fastly to the lead. So
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. We'll see what Eric has for him here, but I don't know.
yeah, we'll see what Eric has. I mean, if I'm Eli here in third, you know, yeah, we know that, you know, Eric's probably pushing a little bit, putting the pressure on Drew. You know, as we just heard from Drew, he said he's just riding, man. He's cool, calm, and collected in the cockpit of that number 2 car. But you know, maybe if you're Eric, just putting that little bit of pressure on him, force him, you know, without really realizing it, to burn up those tires. And if I'm Eli, I'm hoping for that, right? I'm hoping that these 2 guys ahead of me burn their stuff up. So, you know, as we get into the later stages of this race, you just drive right by them, you know, like not even really trying to. So we'll see. As you know, looks like there's these top 3 have kind of separated themselves away from the field by a good margin here. As if we look back all the way to P4, even he's trying to kind of start to break away from the pack behind him here with Garrett Thompson, who is currently one spot short of tying Charlie Brown for the hard charger, or the Buffalo Transformer Services hard charger award tonight at the CBM 100.
It sounds like we may have a yellow on the track. No, we're good.
Nope, still green is what we're showing here. These guys kind of single file out. Drew Gooden keeping that 10 car and Nicholas Priest behind him. Priest with a pretty good recovery after his pit stop. You know, dropped pretty far back, but you know, I don't know if it was the damage that was, you know, hurting him, or what was going on, but it looks like he's able to rebound a little bit back into P6.
Yeah, and as I'm chomping here on this DB5 special from Sheets, I would like to mention that this league is fixed setup, and there can be a lot of mind games that come on with you know, fixed setup. You know, is Drew Wooten sitting out in front and pushing just hard enough to keep him on his back bumper, maybe trying to make Eric Purcell, you know, burn up his tires? Can Drew Wooten actually drive away right now if he wanted to? Who knows? It's all a mind game when it comes to fixed setup.
Oh,
as we have a yellow back out on the track.
This is
going to get interesting.
Yeah, it sure is. That's
halfway point. Are we going to see some takers to pit road here? Yeah. Oh my gosh! And Eric Purcell.
Oh, let's go back and see that
for the yellow.
We're definitely gonna have to take a look at that here on Grease Vision. As we rewind it here, it looks like this is the 33 of Braden Campbell. He's just gonna lose it coming out of the corner. Zach Smith with a little bit of contact, but as we see him sit on the track, he's trying to spin it around, can't quite drop that clutch fast enough. And as we see him rejoin, oh, big contact between him and Eric Purcell. So
yeah, that's just lack of track awareness there. You know, I'm sure the admins are going to have to handle that. As we saw most of the leaders come down pit road here, probably to get 4 tires. To see the 88 of Eric Purcell, well, 51 on your screen, Eric Purcell taking right sides at least, and we're going to see the left side jacked up here, and we are for sure. So he's taking 4. Drew Wooten's coming out in first. Looks like maybe, I think it's at the 19. I wonder if he took Avery Schwalm in the 19, if that's showing the right thing on iRacing.
Avery Schwalm.
He definitely took right sides only, which could be the right call depending on how wore out those left sides are. And sometimes these short tracks, especially at the high bankings, the left sides don't get as wore out as the rights, not even close. So could be the right call there. I'm not sure.
And something to keep an eye on, though, is like you said, you know, a left turning track basically at all ovals is going to wear the right sides more, putting a lot of heat and pressure on those right side tires, especially the right front as these guys turn into the corner. But something to note for the left sides, you know, like you said, might not be getting worn as much, but there's still a lot of heat in those tires. Something that, you know, I think a lot of people experienced by taking 2 tires is that, you know, yeah, your right side's got a lot of grip, got a lot of, you know, get up and go to them, you know, like, you know, as opposed to where they were pre-pit stop. But now that your left side's got that heat in them, that might cause you to get a little bit more loose, and the car's going to feel a little bit more free than it did before, even with worn tires. So something that, you know, these guys that took two, like Avery Schwalm, have got to be careful of is, you know, making sure they get those right sides a little bit more up to temp before they really get after it, because those left sides got so much heat in them.
Absolutely. I'm hearing a lot of driver chat over the wreck after the yellow. Eric Purcell not happy, arguing with the admins right now, and I get it. I mean, that is just uncalled for at this point. As we're coming back to green, we're rolling through turn 3 and 4. That pace car is going to take the hard left. We're back under green. Eli Lewis comes down the front straightaway, dives down into turn 1 with a pretty good lead.
Yeah, Eli Lewis looking really strong yet again. Doesn't really have to battle with those same cars he was battling with as Eric Purcell got caught up with that wreck car under yellow, and
Yellow's back out on the track.
Yellow is back out. Big crash,
Big
it looks like.
up. Yep.
As we go to our wreck screen.
Involved again.
Eric Purcell with maybe a little bit of
Charlie Brown involved.
Retaliation maybe from Purcell. Let's see. I'm not gonna call it yet. Let's see who was all involved. No, Eric. It wasn't Purcell that began that one. Let's see. I believe it may have been Garrett Tom. Yeah, let's go on board. Let's go take a look at Garrett Thompson here as show you the wreck here. So, it's going to start with Nick Goen, Charlie Brown.
Drew Wooten involved.
Drew Wooten involved. Let's run that back one more time as Nick's going backwards across the finish line. But
trying to pull the Ricky Bobby and win the race in reverse.
Oh, it looks like Drew is actually going to be the one to get underneath Charlie Brown as we bring it back one more time. So it looks like Drew sends it into the corner.
No, Charlie Brown chopped his nose.
Oh, Charlie did chop his nose, and that's going to cause the big one of the night so far. Yeah, it's a lot of damage race cars. We see the two there trying to spin it around. And, yeah, so our last week's winner, Drew Wooten, going to tow it out to the pits. So that's definitely going to cost him a few laps. Man, I was not expecting that kind of drama there on the restart.
Yeah, and there's lots of drama here on the radio chatter. Drew Wooten and Charlie Brown are really going at it right now. Not what you want to see, but you love to see it at the same time.
Exactly. Hopefully the race control or race admins can get that disabled before tensions get too high and people start complaining too much about virtual race cars. But here we are, 60 laps in, 40 to go. Eli Lewis, man, he's really looked strong to me. I'm super impressed. I said it
Yeah.
I said it last week. We even heard from him as he podiumed last week. We heard from him in the booth. He said he's been putting a lot of work in this offseason, and it's definitely shown, and it's definitely paid off all the time he's put into driving this race car.
Something I definitely want to point out, we got in 4th position. We got the number 70, the GreaseCar owner, Mr. Davis Warren. It's creeped up here to the top 4. Maybe he can make a little noise here in the podium positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one spot shy of it as we take a quick look at our Buffalo Transformer Services Hard Charger Award. Not quite the not quite finalized yet, I should say. We got 3 guys tied right now for the Buffalo Transformer Services Hard Charger Award. Garrett Thompson, Travis Ellington, and Zach Smith as we head back to take the green. And Eli Lewis gonna get out a good jump here over Nick Priest in P2. And man, he's just starting to walk away already.
Absolutely, but he did this at the beginning of the race. Is he gonna be able to save them tires and hold on to it? You know, we got about 38-ish laps to go, 37 laps to go, something like that. Yeah, he's driving that car hard into the corner. I'm seeing him steer that thing in there deep, putting that Ford Mustang in the wind, but I don't know, man. We got a Toyota Camry right behind him. We're going to see a little noise here in a few laps.
Yeah, let's go to a little onboard here if we can see a little bit. I mean, that's a lot of wheel input there from Eli. mind you, he was not one of these guys that come in and took tires, so he's still on the same set as he started the race in. Fortunately for him, the good side for him is a lot of those guys that just came in and took fresh tires, they're multiple laps down at this point because they got that huge wreck there on last restart. As we see him start to close in on a lap car, the 46 of Charlie Brown here. He's gonna need to try to clear him as fast as possible just to make sure he doesn't get slowed up and get backed up to the traffic behind him.
Absolutely, yeah, but saw Charlie Brown have a little mishap in the heats last week. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, but if you're Charlie Brown, I know you're fighting for your lead lap position if he's not already a lap down, but something like this in this situation, probably best to just pull out to the outside if the leader's all over to your bumper and just get out of the way, because if that leader gets too frustrated, he's just going to move you. And these cars, like we said last week, if you touch on the bumpers, you're pretty much gone. So I wouldn't get that leader too frustrated.
Yeah, it looks like our current Buffalo Transformer Services hard charger leader for tonight is going to be the 116 of Zach Smith. We saw him in that earlier wreck with Nick Goen. That car is definitely a little banged up, but he's 8 spots up from his starting spot, P9, as Avery Schwalm, who, remind you, is on fresher right side tires. He's going to be able to make that pass pretty easily, which is, again, going to put us in a 3-way tie for that hard charger award. Oh, and it looks like there was a driver who crashed. Not quite going to bring out the yellow yet. It looked like Chad McLeod had crashed out. Maybe looks like he ended up towing. So maybe it's kind of a sportsmanship courtesy thing. Just wrecked it, towed to the pits, and got off the track so, wouldn't disrupt the flow of the race here.
Absolutely. As you see Charlie Brown kind of walking away, I'm not sure if he maybe pit late under that restart and maybe grabbed 4 tires, hadn't grabbed his tires yet, and he's kind of walking away. So I'm going to eat my words here, but we're seeing P2 start to bark up the tree of Eli Lewis. Nicholas Priest is going to get to the back bumper here. I think we're going to see a lead swap here in a couple laps.
Yeah, he's putting all sorts of pressure here on Eli. And I believe Priest had pitted at one point. Not sure if he took tires or if it was damage repair, but nonetheless, he is all over Eli, and he's going to have a nose right to the inside as he looks to make the move. And they're side by side leaving the corner. Eli going to have the edge into 3, but that inside position is everything here. But Eli, man, again, he did the same thing with Purcell and with Wooten in the early stage of this race. Puts up a pretty good fight around the outside. Really, I know it doesn't look like much for you guys at home, but that's not an easy thing to do with these cars.
Absolutely, but he's got to be really careful, because hanging out on the outside, you can get freight trained by the inside line, as we're seeing it happen right now. And sometimes, I know it's the lead position, sometimes you just got to let it go, get tucked back into the inside, reset yourself, cool off your tires a little bit over the next couple laps, and try to make that pass back. So you got a yellow flag back on track on the front stretch. The 51
like
car.
Garrett Thompson. Let's go to a quick rec replay here. This looks like Garrett has towed to the pits. Let's see what happened beforehand. And as we take a look here, as they're into the corner, looks like it's going to be leaving the corner and just loses it, man, and then gets tapped around by the 19 of Avery Schwalm. Nothing really Avery can do there. Just pretty much kind of have to continue doing what he's doing. But for the 51 here of Garrett Thompson, kind of a rough night. I know he was involved in some stuff earlier, but yeah, that might be his night done, as that car is a little beat up. But man, it's we're seeing a lot of guys that perform really well, get caught up in things that they probably shouldn't be caught up in. Just to point out a few, Eric Purcell getting caught up in a wreck that happened after the yellow was out. Definitely not ideal, and understandably frustrated for him. Nick Gowen, it looks like, is back on the lead lap to the very beat up race car. He's gonna actually go back into the pits, probably get some of that damage repaired. Hopefully it'll look a little bit clean and shiny as between now and when he comes out of the pits. But looks like he's fought his way back to the lead lap, so that's big for him. Looks like Purcell as well is still in the pits, getting some damage repaired. Gonna go a few laps down. Looks like.
So something I'm seeing is Eli Lewis came down pit road there. I'm not sure why. He dropped all the way from 3rd to the 9th spot.
Yeah, not sure about the strategy there. As only 19 to go. As these caution laps, unlike the heat, these caution laps do count towards the lap count for the feature race here. As these guys try to find their spot in line under caution. Yeah, but he's gonna be sitting P9 behind Zach Smith here. I don't know if he was able to get some fresh tires or not, but even so, I mean, yeah, these tires wear out, but that's a lot of spots to make up to go back for a race win.
Especially because the past 30 laps have been a lot of yellow flag laps. Not a lot of tire wear, not enough to make up, 8, 9 spots over the course of the next 18. You got to pray for more caution so you can, jump the restart. Well, I shouldn't say jump the restart, but getting some spots on a restart. As you see Davis Warren sneaking up into the podium position of P3. So coming down the backstretch, we got Nicholas Priest in 1st, Tristan Stevenson in 2nd, Dylan Gooden in 4th, and Dennis Wilder Jr. in 5th. We're coming off turn 4. The pace car is off. We're back under green. Nicholas Priest with a big jump.
And what a great jump for him. Is kind of really took a wide arc to that. I thought he was going to get undercut there by Tristan Stevenson in 2nd, but Sierra League owner there, Davis Warren in 3rd, really trying to hold off these pretty quick guys behind him with Dennis Wilder, Avery Schwalm, right there on his tail.
Davis Warren trying to hold his own right now.
Yeah, definitely looking for a good result tonight. Currently in the podium paying position, but he's got 15 laps to go to keep it there, as it looks like we have a new hard charger, which is going to be three wide
in turn 3.
And that's Eli Lewis on the bottom, now back down to 2 wide. That's Zach Smith, currently our hard charger of the night. The 10 spots about to be 9 here, as it looks like Eli's just going to have it. They're leaning on each other through the corner. Oh, and a little bit of contact. Oh, and a little bit of contact after the fact, as it looks like Travis Ellington gets involved. Let's go to a quick rec replay. We able to catch that one in live time, but man, another I know he's been in some instance already, but another one for Travis Ellington. So it looks like he just kind of gets the worst part of this one. So I mean, if we back it up a little bit more, because that was pretty quick, you see Eli Lewis and Zach Smith fighting pretty hard there. A little bit of contact, a little bit of net code. One of them gets moved out of the way, and man, Travis trying to make the most of this space there, but just kind of gets a little greedy, in my opinion. Trying to track out when there really wasn't anywhere to go. Looked like Eli held his line for the most part after the wreck and really tried to gather it up, but yeah, Travis just a tough spot to be right there.
Absolutely. We're probably going to have about 8 or 9 laps to go here on this restart. We got a little beef in the chat again.
As I
Short
see
track racing, man.
Yeah, I see Nick going back in the pits. Gonna try to stay on the lead lap here. Currently P11, getting some damage repaired. Braden Campbell, who we saw in that other wreck, still in the pits, getting some repairs. Eric Purcell is also going down pit lane, so he's currently 10th, but he's going to be knocked back to 11th, I believe, by the time that Nick Owen comes back around. as they're kind of fighting for that last spot. But actually, I take that back as it looks like Nick is back in the pits. Is going to get some more repairs. So those positions will hold as is with Eric in 10th, Nick in 11th. But yeah, about 10 to go here. We've kind of seen it all tonight. We've seen these guys drive from the back, get up front, and get in a wreck and go right to the back. So a lot. I mean, I guess sort of similar in a way to last week with some cautions, but I don't think it's been, other than that one that was, really a majority of the field on the restart. In my opinion, that these cars are just really tough. Any contact to the rear end, as you know, Logan just sends them right around. So it's really tough to make passes. It seems like a lot of cautions, but at the same time, it's just so hard to pass for these guys, especially if they're on equal tires. And, the smallest bump, smallest tap can send these late models around, and, which bring out the yellow and cause all sorts of carnage. So looks like we are 1 to green. Gonna have 7 to go next time they see the flag here.
Definitely, and Nicholas Priest, he's loving all these yellows right now, because if he can jump out front, it's going to take you 3 to 4 laps to catch back up, and he gets another good restart coming off of turn 4 here. Davis Warren trying to make the pass for second, can't make it happen. Coming out of turn 2, the leader Nicholas Priest jumps out front.
It looks like, oh man, Avery was almost going to try to make it 3 wide. Is the 3 wide coming off the corner with Davis Warren and Dennis Wilder Jr. There's still 3 wide into 1.
Maybe Davis we were wrong about this 19 car, because maybe those right sides are working here.
Yeah.
He's marching back up to the front here.
Absolutely, and Eli Lewis as well, right? Eli Lewis and Dylan Gooden right behind him. Also trying to see what happens here with these guys in front of them. It looks like the yellow is back out, and that's exactly what Priest wants to see. Let's take a look. It looks like it's Eric Purcell, so fighting hard for that 11th spot. May have got to him. Let's take a look here. All right, as we go back to the
maybe
replay
a little
here.
Retaliation here.
Yeah, let's see. So Eric's gonna get in the corner, and
just
wow,
loses it.
Just loses it, and maybe just too many spins for Eric tonight. Putting a lot of heat in the tires, a lot of wear, and just really easy to spin these things around under those conditions. So, wow, yeah, that's not something you normally see out of a driver as good as Eric. But like I said, with the tires that hot, and I mean, if I know him and I'm on the tail end of the lead lap here, I'm fighting that hard too. So I definitely get it. Definitely sucks for him, as he's going to drop down to 11th as of now. Definitely be put at least a lap or 2 down. So going to be tough for him to claw his way back up to the top 10 here, as Nick Owen is going to be in the top 10. Car looks a lot cleaner than before. Still a little bit pushed on the left side, little dirt or damage there on the right front, but man, it's gonna be a shootout here, seems, Logan.
Yeah, we're gonna have 3 green-white checkered attempts here. This is gonna be the first one, and you yourself, that the green-white checkers normally don't go as planned. Everybody is fighting for every position here at the end, so I don't think this is the last time we'll see a yellow.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, with only pretty much 2 laps guaranteed to go, these guys are really going to send it in here. So I fully expect us to at least use 2 of the 3, if not all 3 of these green-white checkers. Just kind of depends on how nice these guys want to play, but I mean, hey, if I'm in their shoes, I got 2 laps to make something happen. I'm sending it like we're probably going to see. So Looks like the pace lights are off as we are back to double file restart, which is not exactly what Nicholas Priest probably wants to see, as he probably would have rather it been a single file, but nonetheless, he does have the flag in hand, does have the inside line, so he has the advantage. But we will see how this first green-white checkered unfolds as the pace car heads down pit lane, and Nicholas is gone early. Pretty
Not
good
quite the jump that he has.
Yeah, I was going to say, pretty good jump from the outside line. Looks like Priest is going to be able to clear up, but we know Avery Schwalm on fresh tires might have that advantage as he's going to dive down the inside of Tristan Stevenson. Not going to make it stick this time.
Oh,
Stevenson with a crossover.
White flag. Are we going to see another close finish this week?
White flag is out. It all comes down to 3 and 4. Who can carry the most speed around it? Priest a little loose. Stevenson with the inside. It's going to be Priest at the line. Wow. What a finish there.
That's 2 weeks in a row for GreaseCar. Photo finish comes to the line every time.
Unbelievable. Gap was 0.05. That is absolutely an insane finish here at Five Flags. Wow.
Absolutely.
What a victory there for Priest.
He's got to feel good after that. I bet he was pretty nervous going into turn 3 and 4 there. That had to be nerve-wracking, but
let's take. I'm gonna put the rec screen on, but it's not really a rec. It's just more the instant replay. Let's take a look here at that finish one more time. Let's get a look at that last lap. I mean, just insane scenes here on Grease Vision. So as we look here at the last lap, let's see. So you see it. Stevenson's got the inside, and actually, I thought Priest was going to lose it. I believe it's this time through 3 and 4. He even tapped the wall there. I mean, yeah, he got so sideways through 3 and 4, and I thought that was game over for him. But, I mean, unbelievable finish there. Wow. I'm speechless.
Yeah, that's definitely an awesome finish here at the Corey Bodie Motorsports 100 at Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. Definitely looking forward to next week. So see, we got Nicholas Priest finishing out in first, Tristan Stevenson finishing in second with a close second, Avery Schwalm finishing in third with those fresh right side tires, Dennis Wilder Jr. finishing fourth, Eli Lewis rounding out the top 5.
And we're going to point it out now, our Buffalo Transformer Services Hard Charger Award is going to go to the P11 of Charlie Brown in the 46 car. He moved up 9 spots from his original position, so started in 20th, finished out the night in 11th, granted 5 laps down, but still moved up the most. Next highest was our guy there in P3, Avery Schwalm, the 19, moved up 8 spots, so 1 spot short of tying Charlie for the Buffalo Transformer Services Hard Charger Award for tonight.
Absolutely. And at 6th, we're going to have Dylan Gooden. 7th, we're going to have Travis Ellington. 8th, we're going to have league owner Davis Warren. 9th, Nicholas Cohen. 10th, we're going to have Zach Smith. 11th, Charlie Brown. Chad McLeod, Eric Purcell, Garrett Thompson, Drew Wooten, Braden Campbell, Josh Cole, Blaine Harrison, Trevor Bowen, Corey Bodie, and Johnny Parham in the 21st spot. That's going to round out our results for tonight.
Yeah, well, we've seen some great racing here at Five Flags for the CBM 100. Logan, why don't you say we bring up some drivers here?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and pull up Avery Schwalm to the booth.
Avery, this is
there you go. Oh, go ahead, Nathan.
Avery, this is Nathan and Logan in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Avery, man, what a great drive from you tonight. One thing I want to talk to you about, and we saw it with multiple drivers, but it really seemed to pan out for you well with the way the cautions lined up, the way the wrecks kind of timed out for you. was the pit strategy. We did see you come in somewhere near the halfway point and take those right side only tires. So talk to me about kind of what's going through your head. We saw some guys stay out later, some come in earlier. What was kind of your mindset there? And, also how did that car handle with, those hot left sides?
Well, I actually came back down and took left sides the next lap, but the car felt good. Got up to third, but then got involved in a little bit of an incident. Got some right front damage. Car wasn't turning that great, so I decided to come down, fix the damage, and might as well get tires, see if we can flip anybody. And then the whole mid part of the race didn't seem like we were even going to remotely get up through there. It was really hard to pass, and then avoided a couple wrecks. Well, actually got involved in one more. Had to come back down the pit road, and but we got back up there, got in position, got a couple lucky draws on the inside line on the restarts. Had to take Davis 3 wide. Kind of feel bad about that, but it was 5 laps to go in the race. And then the car was really tight at the end, but was able just to hold it on the bottom for a third place. So I'm happy with that.
Absolutely. And I got to ask you, do you think maybe there was about 2 more green-white checkers y'all had left? Do you think maybe if the yellow came out right before the stripe that maybe you had anything for the front 2 guys?
I don't think so. I think because I still had a little bit of damage, and I had to use my tires up pretty bad getting up through the field, so I was getting pretty tight. So honestly, I'm pretty happy with third. I was kind of hoping they would get involved in contact up front, and I would be able to get under them, but it didn't happen, and I'm pretty happy with third, I guess.
Well, Avery, a great result tonight. We were seeing you drive through the field, a couple times and everything. Definitely look quick all night. Anybody you want to shout out, sponsors, anybody for your performance tonight?
No, not really. I don't have any sponsors, so flying solo.
I
There
hear
you
ya.
go. Well, Avery, we're going to get you back down to your Discord chat. Congratulations on the podium finish tonight. We look forward to seeing you race next week.
Thank you.
All right, and that's Avery Schwalm in the 19, our third place finisher. Logan, let's pull up Tristan. Tristan, this is Logan and Nathan in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Tristan, man, what a good fight from you. I know you started towards the front there, a little bit of fighting early on. I believe you may have gotten caught up in something, but I mean, I knew you had a lot of speed from seeing your qualifying lap and seeing you in the heat as well. Kind of talk me through your mindset for tonight, as there's a good bit of chaos. Is kind of the always going to be the case with these cars. But talk me through kind of your mindset and your, kind of how you approach this race.
Really, it was just sitting back, not burning up the right front tire, and just letting everything kind of come together. So it worked out. I just fell back at the start of the race for my own choosing and just tried to stay out of trouble and not burn up the tires. Kind of expecting the race to not really have that many cautions because we've got some good drivers in there, but I guess there's a few that are still working things out. But no, it was just to stay back, stay clear of everything, and try not to burn up the tires and just be there at the end to have a chance. And gave Nick a run for his money. But congratulations to him.
Absolutely, Nick, or Tristan, sorry. A hell of a run from you, man. I applaud you for being clean in the last few corners there. Is there anything you could have done differently to maybe give Nicholas a little shot to win the race?
I think if I could have stayed more to his outside on that initial restart and maybe pinned him down on the bottom, but I had such a run, I went to go cross him over, thinking I could wrap 3 and 4 a little bit better coming to the white. So, if hindsight, I would have probably taken the top there and kind of pinched him down a little bit more. But I had a little bit better tire than he did. We talked after the race, had a little bit better tire, but yeah, hindsight, taking the top instead of crossing him over so soon.
Yeah, Tristan, I mean, an excellent finish there. I think if you had another lap or two, like you said, you had the tire advantage. So definitely been more interesting than it was, but I mean, an excellent finish in general, an excellent finish for you in P2. Anybody you want to thank, sponsors or anything before we let you go?
No, just we got a great group of guys we run with in our channel there, so they're really helpful on what we need to be doing, strategy. We get some help throughout the field with some of these guys.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you and congrats on the P2 tonight. We're looking forward to seeing you race next week, and we'll get you back down to your Discord channel.
Awesome.
That is Tristan Stevenson, our P2 finisher, half a tenth behind. But it is time now to bring up our winner, Nicholas Priest, up in the booth. Nick, this is Nathan and Logan in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
We can, man. We can. Man, what a great drive from you tonight. I mean, really just, it was, I could tell you were being pretty patient and really taking your time. I know you got caught up in an incident as well. We just talked with Tristan and Avery and kind of said the same thing, but we saw you kind of really solidify your spot, in the podium, especially in the lead with the battle you had with Eli Lewis. I know Eli was on older tires, but kind of talk me through, what was going through your mind and how you were able to set up that pass without really losing too much time to the guys behind you for the lead.
I just set it in there and it stuck, and I pray to God it did, because we were going to be drunk if it won't.
Well, that's awesome, man. I told Tristan, I was like, hell of a job, keeping it clean. That's definitely the type of guys you want to race with. Had you had one more lap to go, do you think you could still hold him off, or do you think it would have had you?
Probably not. I was so sideways, I wouldn't have caught that for another lap.
Well, you definitely, I mean, I even called it out too on the replay of the final lap. Yeah, you were super sideways through 3 and 4. I thought that might be race over for you, losing a lot of momentum through there, but you bring home the win. Great result here in all, qualifying heat races, and of course with the feature win. Anybody you'd like to shout out for tonight's performance?
Just top 3 for running me so good, and that's about it. I mean, this race was better than last race, so that's all we can ask for.
Absolutely, man. Well, congrats again on the win. We're looking forward to seeing you race next week, and we will get you down to your Discord channel. Congratulations once again, man.
Thank you.
And that is our winner, Nick Priest, in the 10 car, winner of the Corey Bodie Motorsports 100 here at Five Flags. Man, Logan, I don't know about you, but I mean, I think that went a lot better than last week. A lot more green flag runs. We saw guys, especially on the restarts, be a lot more cautious and, kind of patient with each other. Really something we didn't see a lot of last week, I feel like, as we saw multiple, multi-car wrecks on restarts, which is upsetting for the viewers to see. It's upsetting for, the drivers involved. So, I mean, I think tonight went a lot better for these guys. Definitely, another great finish here on Grease Vision. Just over a half a tenth at the line. I mean, you really can't ask for much more.
Absolutely, and with any league just starting out, in the season, there's going to be issues, but as these guys race more together, they learn how each other drives, and there's going to be cleaner racing as the season goes on, and I'm really looking forward to that. And all these wrecks and such, that's why I really want to get to Bristol. I want to see all these retaliations come to life at Bristol. But next week we have the Panzer Performance 100 at Kern. We're gonna have 100 laps there next Wednesday night at 8:30. The broadcast goes live. We're gonna show qualifying, the heat races, the LCQ, and the feature. So we're definitely hoping to see you guys there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think if you've taken away anything from tonight, a lot of great racing. Like I said, sometimes the wrecks are just, not quite avoidable. But I really feel like, that we had a strong field tonight. Saw a lot of really side-by-side racing for multiple laps, which, as I've stated before, is really difficult to do in these cars. But as we close out here, thanks for everybody here at Grease Vision. This is, Davis Warren's project, but thanks for all of us here at Grease Vision. Be sure, if you like what you're seeing, to like and subscribe to the Grease Vision channel. I know Davis also does some coverage for dirt sprint cars. If that's more your thing, be sure to check that out on Tuesday nights. But if you like this late model racing, please be sure to check us out next Wednesday as we head to Kern. My name's Nathan Mon. As always, Logan Joyner as my co-host, and we will see you next week.
Later, y'all.